There we are. There we are. Hey everyone, hope you are doing well. You're with Noor here, and welcome back to another one of our client interviews. Today, I'm joined by one of our amazing clients called Zander, who's been with us for coming to nearly 2 years now in May 2025, and he's absolutely smashed it with our program. And I'm really excited to dig into his story a bit deeper. So, Zander, obviously, myself and you. We know each other very well, but for the people that are watching right now, why don't you introduce who you are, who you serve, and the transformation you deliver?
Perfect. Thanks, Noor. It's great to be here. So, Zander Woodford-Smith from the UK originally. I run Business Coach Academy, where we train executives in the corporate world how to become part-time business coaches and generate ideally an income of £10,000 per month, and just be the absolute best business coaches in the world and have a really big impact, rather than just working in one company, actually coaching, anywhere from 6 to 10 to 12, sometimes 17 clients, so they can spread that expertise around a little bit.
Yeah, amazing stuff. And just to paint a picture in the people's mind here, Xander, where were you before, working with us in terms of like average monthly revenue compared to where you are right now?
Yeah, so before we were at about $16,000 a month, in a really sporadic fashion. Like some months it could be much higher, and then other months it would just be like literally zero sales at all, and we were just all over the place. But average would have gone about that if we took the whole year and averaged it out.
Yeah. And fast forward to today, I think it's been more than a year. You joined, like we said, 29th May 2023. So it's been around June, July, August, September, October, November, around like 18, 19 months now. What's the average monthly revenue floating at now?
Yeah, so average monthly revenue now for the last like 3 months would have been $110,000 each month, which is fantastic. So our top month being like closer to 125, 130. So super excited about that, and then even more to go.
Yeah, we got way more to go, which is going to be fun. So, Xander, talk to me about, what drove you to join the program to begin with, in terms of like some of the key issues you were facing.
Well, it's funny actually, because I remember booking the call and just being thinking like, you're not joining, you're definitely not joining before I got on the call. And I was just like, no, it's not happening. I'd invested in so many things, but I was just like, I'd seen Charlie's video, I might have seen some other stuff, and I was like, okay, this sounds good. So let me find out like how much it's going to be, so that at the point where we can try and save up some money when we get some money coming in, to be able to like go and do it. And then I was on the call and was shown around. I was just like, oh, this looks like exactly what we need to actually generate the leads we need and have the clarity we want, and just solve the lead generation problem like once and for all. Because we knew we had a good product, but we were struggling on the other like areas of actually booking the calls and stuff like that. So it was when I saw the breadth and depth of what was in there that I was like, oh, damn, they got me, but it looks so good in terms of doing it. So we were really in a tough financial spot from everything we'd been investing in the business. Even though we're already at 15, 16, we were, investing a lot anyway, and other programs and stuff. But it was seeing how comprehensive it was that finally made me go, okay, I definitely know we can be successful about implementing this.
Yeah, that's funny. You're mentally prepping. Not don't buy, don't buy, don't buy. Get on the call. Oh, here's my credit card. So yeah, fantastic stuff, man. Worked out in the end. So Xander, talk to me about about how the business looked prior to joining. I know you briefly touched on it there, but you said the main issue was booking appointments, did you say, in terms of like filling up the calendar and just getting those sales calls in, which was the main driver of inconsistency.
Yeah, we were just really struggling both on. We actually had more problems than I think we even realized after actually going through the program, because even though it's very Charlie and Imperium talks about the acquisition side a lot. There's actually so much more even before that, where if you get those things right and streamline and simplify the business, it makes that other bit much easier. So even though, yeah, we did need to solve lead generation quite a lot and sales a lot, actually thinking about the product and trying to get clearer there and who we were targeting as well, and simplifying the product made a big difference as well to being able to do it. But so it's still really important that we could actually go out and generate leads and have numerous strategies to go and do that. But it's actually having all the other things around it as well that helps us be, I would say, all added together rather than just that one lead generation strategy.
Yeah, 100%. And you'll know this better than anyone, Zander, because you're also part of the mastermind. But you know how much a product is preached, like on every like coaching call on the mastermind, but also every event we run where it's like product, product, product. So when you were actually adjusting your product, how did it look like? How does it look compared? How does it look now compared to before in terms of like the improvements you've made?
It's actually just kind of a simplification of product suite. So we used to have like 3 different levels and try and serve people in different ways.
Mhm.
And even though now there's kind of 2 levels to it, it almost feels just like one product, but broken up into a front end and a back end. So it's much less operationally complex. But the other big thing is as well is just really working on how we explain it to people and realizing that we didn't have to go into the depth that we thought. So really, and this was something that came from getting the sales expertise that's in the program as well, of simplifying it. Because we just kept adding, because we were struggling to sell, because we didn't have enough leads. We thought, oh, the appointments we do have, we better tell them all the amazing stuff we've built and done. And then the few appointments we did get, we were just confusing them. And
Yeah,
so we were just like so confused ourselves in terms of like, everyone says they love this product and they want to do it, but no one's actually giving us any money. How does that make any sense? Because they weren't just going away either. They would keep coming back for like a second, a third, a fourth call. So we're like, okay, this isn't a polite no, but this is not a yes.
yeah,
So it was driving us nuts for ages. So that simplification of the product itself, but
yeah.
especially the sales process and the offer, really, really helped us dial into what actually led to starting to generate leads and just pick up and improve from there.
Yeah, I can just picture your face when you're seeing people not purchasing but saying they like the program. I'm assuming your initial thought was, oh, they're just politely saying no, but then they keep
Yeah,
coming back, and
yeah.
you must have been confused. You're like, what's
And
going
just
on?
so frustrated. Like I know so many entrepreneurs struggle with frustration, but like
Yeah,
this is my second business now.
yeah,
And so I felt I already understood stuff. And like we were well below what my previous business high used to be. But I knew this was like a better long-term business, but I was just losing my mind thinking, how can we not sell this thing that everybody
yeah,
loves? Everybody says is perfect, but no one will buy, or
yeah,
very rarely. So it was really tough. But the other thing about that is if you don't have enough appointments, you don't get enough bites at the cherry to learn, or whatever analogy you want to learn, to actually learn. So once
yeah,
you start booking appointments, at least you've got enough consistency to say, okay, now there is a problem here. We need to change stuff. And then you try stuff and you actually get the test of on. But if you're booking like 6 appointments a month, then it like you can't learn
exactly.
anything really.
Yeah, and it's really funny you say that, Xander, because I had a coaching call yesterday where a client asked me, no, should I focus on improving my product or should I focus on getting appointments? And I said, like, you can't really improve your product to the best of your ability without getting those appointments and getting the active feedback loop. So it's funny what happened to you, Xander, where you were getting appointments, but even though they weren't buying, it was still useful because you were left in a state of confusion, like why do these people keep coming back but not
Yeah,
purchasing?
exactly. And I think you've got to be humbled and like, I wish I'd learned this sooner and just be like, okay, I think we can think we know best, like what the product should be and everything like that, but you have to let the market tell you. And if it's telling
Yeah,
you something and you still can't solve it, you have to get somebody who's solved that problem already to fix it.
yeah,
Otherwise, you're going to go through months and months and months of testing. What's the phrase? Testing.
iterating,
Yeah, just
changing. Yeah,
iterating and testing. Yeah, of that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Iterate.
great stuff. So, Xander, talk to me about like how you approached the program and how you also came to the conclusion of like refining the product and fixing that sort of bottleneck. So it's almost like we're going back to day one here. Obviously, there's a lot of content to go through. Like what did you end up like how did you approach it with regards to changing your offer, setting up your appointment systems, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to say something probably slightly controversial here, but the I remember going through the first few videos, and the I think this was some time around, or maybe it's slightly earlier. Actually, it was a bit earlier that Alex Hormozzi's $100 million offers book had gone out, and I
Yeah.
come out, and I thought that was amazing. But when I went through Charlie's offer video, I was like, oh my God. Charlie has at least explained it even better than I ever got anything from Alex. It finally really landed in terms of how to construct an offer, not just from understanding value, but what that means in terms of a short amount of text to put in your initial outreach, a longer bit of text, like what that looks like, a full description of what they offer, the different elements to do with all the pricing, not just the initial packaging, but actually the explanation of that, which is one thing I think is missing from $100 million offers. Like it helps create it, doesn't tell you how to describe it and structure
Mhm.
it in all the different ways you need throughout the business. So going through that was massive, and really thinking that through, and what our guarantee was going to be and how we were going to structure it and what we could deliver, what we could promise, timeframes and everything like that. That was huge in terms of helping us think through, okay, our product needs to be different. We were basically almost trying to sell a franchise but without the same contracts, because we'd seen that what that competitor contracts does to
Yep.
people, but then we didn't have the offer bite that it needed to have. And so that was actually the biggest thing right from day one. And I think I did go through that like within the first few days and like look at that. And that made me realize we needed to make a switch in terms of what we were offering.
Yeah, amazing stuff. When you said you had something controversial, I thought you were going to say you skipped that video completely. And
No, 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 not skip the video. The fact that, I think Alex is amazing as
yeah,
well. And he's known like as the offer guy because of the book, but I actually think that Charlie's video about offer explains it. Like if I had to tell somebody, read the book or watch Charlie's video on it, I would definitely say Charlie's video.
yeah, fair, fair. I'll slip you the money after for saying that.
There
I'm
you go.
joking.
100% true.
I'm joking. I'm joking. But no, absolutely love that, Xander. So from going through the offer video, and obviously you know how extensive it is, like what did you do straight after in terms of repackaging like the product, the offer? Like talk to me because that seems to be where your biggest breakthrough was in terms of restructuring the business and getting clarity on those people that keep coming back, but they don't know what they're coming back from.
Yeah, so we had a few breakthroughs because at the time as well, I also hired like a CMO, like a part-time CEO to help me with some of this because I was like, I felt too close to it because I'd been growing for years and I wanted us to apply it together. And I think our real breakthrough came through where we used Charlie's principles and simplified it even further to like a specific length of time of program, a specific actual smaller amount, like more believable, more achievable, with what that they could do within that time frame, and then actually putting an angle on it to do with it being part-time and giving it a unique mechanism, like naming all those things and bringing those things together, and then putting that into an ad. At first, it wasn't an ad, actually. It was only became an ad after we absolutely nailed outreach, automated outreach. So but put it in the outreach message and then on the landing page and stuff like that. So it was getting the little elements right. But then that was quite a bit of work now, I think back on it, because as soon as we changed that, we had to like restructure the product to match that. And then some of the things we were explaining, but it was getting those elements. And the big one of the big elements was about it being part-time and the unique mechanism and explaining
Yeah.
why it was different and why we believe business coaching is the best mechanism for people who've got a lot of experience, not for like a young, 20, 25, 30-year-old, but someone who's been in business years. You don't want to be going to start an Amazon FBA store, but they also don't have the time to go and
Yeah.
build full time, or they don't have the inclination. So it was getting these bits and thinking through what Charlie had taught about the psychology of people that really helped us make that shift.
Yeah, amazing stuff, man. And in terms of like after making those shifts and whatnot, with regards to the product, obviously you went from a free tiered solution to now it's just an all-in-one hub, right? For one specific avatar.
Yeah.
Perfect. And that basically fixed the the unique problem you were facing of people coming back 3, 4 times, but still not knowing what to purchase.
Yeah, and it was really actually just saying, okay, we don't need all this stuff and we don't need to explain all this stuff in the sales process. We actually need to keep it really high level and outcome based and
Yeah,
actually just simplify the whole thing of like, okay. And then we realized even more things as we got deeper into this that most people don't actually even want to like really be pushing building a business hard in our industry because they're all 40, 50. Sorry, our target market. They just want a few extra clients on the side and we
yeah,
can really help them do that. So it's actually what they want is even easier for us to do than what we were trying to give them, which was like get them to like 15, 20K a month in
yeah,
6 months, which is possible through business
yeah,
coaching, but you've got to work really hard. So it just really helped us know everything that we needed to simplify and do and make better.
yeah. Amazing stuff. And it comes back to that point where sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
Almost always less is more. And it sounds like that's the thing in your case, because whenever I do offer audits in the school community, right? The common thing that I see with the first variation is this massive paragraph of this, and I'm thinking, you don't need like 9 of these things to get that one outcome they want. This is
No,
going to do way more harm than good. And I'm assuming that's what you saw, Xander, where at first you're thinking, yeah, the more the better, but actually it's just causing confusion and a lack of clarity for your market.
exactly. And so we've like shortened our program and actually taken things out and tried to find ways to reduce stuff or have it already be done. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's can be scary at first though, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Because you're so used to one way of doing things where I need all of this, but actually it doesn't matter what you think you need, it's what your customer actually
And
needs.
that's why, circling back to your point, you only know that once you've had enough customers actually go through it. And you only know that by getting enough appointments as well. It's like we know how to build a much better product now because we've served like over 200, but we've got about 80 or 90 active, like
Hmm.
still part of it. So it's much easier when you've got that than when you've got, 10 clients and you're trying to guess what they want and you don't have that feedback or you don't see
Yeah.
like, okay, people struggle with this or most people get this. It's finding that balance.
Yeah, great stuff. So I want to touch on the appointment setting side of things, Xander, because I know how important packaging the offer and then redoing the product was. And it's amazing how you've done it. Talk to me about appointment setting. How did that look prior to joining compared to how it looks now in terms of like how many appointments you book, whether it's consistent or not, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I actually can't fully remember when systems switched over and things like that. We went through so many different ways of trying to target and find people and things like that. But what I do know is that towards the end of 2023, like the second half after EasyGrow, then we started focusing on the using cold outreach on
Hmm.
LinkedIn through automation. Now, that
Nice.
was in line with what we already taught coaches how to do,
Yeah.
but we had upgraded was our messaging and how we were approaching it, and just the structured approach to our um, funnel, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. But kind of like just applying the offer bits that
That just caused
we'd like,
everything to
yeah,
fall
because
apart.
I'd built funnels before. I didn't need help with that, even though,
Yeah.
the program explains it great. We'd scaled funnels before, but it was like the offer element and the clarity of what you're promising and some of the testing principles, like I think that helped as well about thinking how Charlie explains it at a micro level, like the certain breaking down the interactions of the funnel helped as well, maybe take my understanding up a level. But I think it's really having that depth of offer that went throughout it. But we were doing automated LinkedIn outreach
Yeah.
when yeah, towards the end of 2023.
Good stuff, man. Was there like anything else within the program that you like really loved and that really stood out? Because there's obviously a lot of things where you obviously got the video content, but then you've got the school community, and then you have the coaching calls to do with like getting assistance on outbound sales, general Q&A with Charlie Bo, even like an ops call with myself. Was there anything else that you really liked about the program compared to like all the other programs you were part of?
I think the thing that's different is just the quality of expertise that's in there. So like the us simplifying, working closely with the sales expert, massively improved what we were doing. Like if we hadn't have had that, I don't think we would have had the growth
Yeah.
that we've now had. So I think it's just that depth of knowledge that you've got access to. Or I remember posting something as well where I was confused about how to structure something when I was reworking our offer. And like you're getting answers directly from Charlie.
Mhm.
And Charlie was like, I'm confused by this. And that made me understand, like, okay, I haven't explained it well enough or it doesn't make sense. And then he just has a simple answer to it. But it's that depth. It's
Yeah.
that most programs, if someone's very knowledgeable, they'll be knowledgeable in one area and they'll have depth there, but they're the only coach on there. Or you've got someone who's just generically okay at all of it. But when you've got a program as well built out as this and the scale that Bo, Charlie, and Imperium, the whole team want to have, you've got such depth in each area
Yeah.
that you can get the answer from someone who really knows and has been there and how
Yeah.
to do it. Like even just your answer to us the other day about how to respond to certain refund requests and this particular situation to do with refund requests. I literally got a message from my ops manager today because we've had a similar one to what I
Yeah.
have explained the other week, even though you're answering it for someone else. It's like, okay, we're now going to have to run exactly what Nor said to do here. So, and you just don't get that depth of response, I don't think, in other places, whether that's in the community or whether that's on a call.
Yeah, love it. And I was about to ask, like, because I know you mentioned, Zander, you spent loads of money on other courses and whatnot. And I was about to ask you like where they fell short, but I'm pretty sure you just answered it there, where the other courses, I'm assuming it just didn't live up to the level of support, quality of content, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I think, and I'm not taking away from any of the courses because I do believe in terms of the, okay, you get that piece and that other stuff. But the
Mhm.
point is that it's like building that bridge across the river. And until you have the entire bridge built, no cars, or in this case, customers can drive across it. And so
Yeah,
we've got little elements from everywhere. But what really helped with EasyGrow was one, we got the offer, which is the entire support of all structure of the bridge. But then they did have the other elements, like the sales and the other things. And then we already had some of the products in place. So it wasn't that there was anything wrong with those. I think just EasyGrow has so many of the bricks and it has such a kit or girders, whatever you want to be. It has such a core part, which is clarifying
yeah,
that often the whole structure of how the bridge should be built, that it gives
yeah,
anybody the best chance of being able to get those first or more customers over the bridge.
yeah. And that's a great way to put it, Xander, because some programs they can have the right pieces. It's just the wrong timing sometimes for the individual in question.
Mhm.
So that's why with us, for example, it's important to have all those pieces in place. So yeah, really good stuff. And then like I know you briefly mentioned as well at the start, you made it abundantly clear how you're saying, I'm not buying, I'm not buying. Did that fear stem from like again trying out other courses and programs and just not finding that, final piece of the puzzle you needed?
It wasn't just that. I mean, that was part of it, but we
Mhm.
were in a really bad cash flow position because we kept pouring money in to these programs and think because we had such a developed product and
Yeah.
because we'd sold some at a high price point, it made every single program seem a good deal. Like, oh my God, if we just sell one of our thing, we'll get a return on investment.
Yeah.
But then when you do that 15 times and you still don't get the
Yeah.
cars across the bridge. Like we were in a really tough cash flow position with the team I had, the products I had, the programs we were investing in.
Yeah.
Because like I said, sometimes we would just go and have like a 25, 30K month because we had such a high program cost. And we might sell two or three. But then we would have months where we literally sold nothing. And
Yeah.
so it wasn't just like another one is this going to be the one to do it, but
Yeah.
it was actually, I really don't think we had a lot of cash flow availability to be able to do it
Yeah.
at the time.
That's it. And you made the jump, and I'm certainly glad you did. So yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. Xander, talk to me about how the business looks from an I guess operation standpoint in terms of like the team members you have in place, and how things are set up? Is it obviously it's not just you. I know you got a team, but talk to me about all the roles you've got in place.
We have quite a large team now. This is why, like, we were set up to be able to do much more than 110 on average, especially. So we have myself, then my ops manager, equivalent of inspired by seeing what Charlie had and Bo had at the conference, thing. I need to get myself one of those Nors. That sounds good to me. Then we have the two closers, but one is kind of my co-founder and mum as part of that. She's gone
Yep.
on
Shout out to
account
Pam.
half time. Yeah, Pam. As everybody knows, so that's on the closer side. And then we don't have any setters or anything like that. They just go straight into the calendars. Then I have my part-time CMO, help on the sales side. And then we have our client success team, which is two client success managers. And then now we just hired a client success director because I really, really wanted somebody to take off the load on that side, like really help us on the recurring side of things and the coaching quality and the products there. So I found someone really amazing, and we decided to make that investment because they've been part of big coaching organizations before, but they're quite new. So, and then I've got an assistant. So we're at about 11 people.
Yeah, amazing stuff, man. Xander, I just want to touch on the mindset side of things on your end, because it'd be interesting to hear, how does version one of Xander um look that joined the program back in 2023 compared to the version I'm speaking to right now? Were there any limiting beliefs you had in terms of, like, growing the business or wondering whether this would work and whatnot? Did you break any limiting beliefs, or were you quite constant and it was just a matter of just finding the solutions?
Uh, well, it's interesting because this is my background. Before I used to coach executives on emotional intelligence
Oh,
and break beliefs and all this.
yeah.
And then my first company, Strivers, was literally that, like how you do that at scale. We had
Yep.
22,000 people in our programs there. So I'm really well versed in all of that. But the thing was, I'd gone through 3 years, nearly 4 years of just like pain and struggle of not being able to grow this business that I knew should be better than my previous one, basically, to even the same level. Like we could barely like make in 6 months what we in this one that we was doing in the other one in a month. And so I had lost hope. Like I didn't give up because I think some entrepreneurs just didn't matter what happened. But I really, for the first time ever, just had lost hope. I just thought, right, well, I'll keep plugging on anyway in a quite a down fashion. But I definitely no longer had like goals or hope because you just get knocked back and
Yep.
disappointed so many times that you just kind of give up. So the thing that actually changed was when we started to see life and try and understand the problems and then actually start to fix the problems. Like I think it was only that was actually going to make that shift. And now it's back to like, okay, this is our targets and where we go. Like we know exactly what our target is for next year and how it breaks down and everything like that. So, which is very aggressive, but very achievable at the same time. But before I couldn't even get myself to think like that because it was just
Yeah.
too disappointing again.
Yeah. Love it. Simple follow-up question to that. How does it feel?
Now,
Yeah, to be in the position where you've got that clarity and a sense of peace almost, now that you've got, predictability, direction, and you know what to do, compared to like the 3 to 4 years of chaos, as you mentioned, where you just don't know where the success is coming from.
yeah, it's quite funny actually, because like August was our best month, and I think my best month in business ever. And so just a few months ago. And then so that feels amazing. And we were just going month after month after month. So it feels like so good. You're like, oh, finally, I'm successful. Like the thing I've wanted for so long, the thing I knew was going to be true, but you kind of start doubting yourself whether you're crazy or not, because it just doesn't happen for as long. And you just see all these like whiz bang kids doing it at like 14 and a half years old. And you're just like, what's going on? And so that felt amazing. And what's funny is you quite quickly adapt When now, like our bad months, like I say and talk about our last 2 months being bad months, and they're like 85K. So it's like quite weird because now I'm like, okay, no, we need to solve this problem and this problem and
Yeah.
this problem. What's going on? It's like if you'd have told me like March this year that we'd do 85K as like a best month, I'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, let's do it. And now it's like, what are we doing, guys? This is absolutely appalling. So it feels great. But then it's amazing how quickly your standards
Yep.
change, which is in some ways is good, and some ways is, a bad human tendency to do it. But it's nice. It's very nice. It's a much less, it's a different kind of stress when your
Yeah.
back months are 85K than when they're nothing.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like Zander, it's like what we cover in the mindset training where it's like your original ceiling becomes your floor and it's constantly changing.
Exactly. Well, I'm going back through Charlie's mindset stuff now, just listening to it again, even though this is what I do, my career. I've got it like on my phone, like loaded up in the morning, listening to the uh, what's the one, Trial by Fire
Yeah.
and things like
Yep.
that. So just, and I'm going to get my team to listen to it, and things just get them their head in the game.
Yeah. Amazing. Xander, what are we gunning for next revenue wise? And what's the timeline you'd say?
Well, so we've just done our forecast for the whole year as part of like the program mastermind, things like that. So the goal is 5 million at 60% margins, but the target for January is 200,000, which is we've got our live conference, and we've got lots of people coming up for renewals as well. So we should be able to, that one, I think we should be able to do, but then it starts going up to like 300 and 400,000 as we start getting into like April, May on our forecast time when we plan to hire another closer or maybe two.
Yeah, amazing stuff. So for people watching this, I'm going to reference this as part one, and hopefully we can get part two if Xander's not too busy for me. So
I
yeah,
like it.
keep an eye out for that. So Xander, as we wrap up this interview, typically there's two groups of people that watch this. The first of which are current clients, and the second of which are, people that have yet to join the program. For people that are current clients, you've obviously been with us for a long time. What would you say would be your key pieces of advice to them in order to succeed with the program?
It's the same what I say to my members. It's just stop trying to be cute and fancy, or stop being lazy and just, or rework it or reinvent it, or think you can do it better than the guys who's telling you how to do it is making, 1 million a month or something like this. Just take your humble pie and just do exactly what is said in exactly the way and steps, and just set your intention about when you're going to work on it and like how you're going to do it. And don't get stuck in a learning cycle of like, okay, I'm going to watch the sorry, what's the first part? Call
Acquisition. Yes.
acquisition.
Yep.
Yeah, acquisition genesis. And then I'm going to watch this and this. Pick, like, I know because I was part of this. They tell you at the start what bits to focus on in the program. It's like, yeah, watch the genesis, but then go and get your lead generation strategy that applies to your business and just implement that
Yeah.
and actually see it. It's the only way you'll actually get the result. And just, if you're feeling resistance, go listen to Trial by Fire. Like, it's all there. You just have to stop trying to be smarter than the people you paid to learn, who know how to do this stuff. That's the dumbest thing in the world to do, is to do that.
Perfectly said. And guys, just to reiterate, this is coming from Xander, who before joining already had one of his businesses prior to this one, Xander, that you said you were running, that was already doing quite well. So when Xander joined, he was like a sponge. Like he parked his existing knowledge to the side and was open to learning new things. So yeah, for the clients that are watching, if you guys are getting a bit funky, which I know some of you are when you join my calls and ask me certain questions, follow what's in the program. Sounds simple, but it's there for a reason. So yeah, great advice, Sander. For people that have yet to join, almost like you're speaking to yourself, Sander. I know the people may have doubts. They probably have gone through other programs. They also may be in a position where, like you mentioned, your back's against the wall where you don't have as much cash flow coming in and whatnot. Like, what would you say to those people that have yet to join the program, like from your time with us?
Yeah, what I would say is like I understand how scary it is that it could be another program that doesn't deliver
Mhm.
on its promise, but I'm telling you, it's absolutely not that. And that it does have the elements you need to be successful, and it's got the depth behind it that you don't find elsewhere. So it actually is one of the missing keys you need if you're willing to actually go through it and apply it. So you have to trust in that leap and actually realize that this is the final one you hopefully need, or at least it's the one that unlocks the 10, 15, 20, 30K months for you to then have some breathing space. Okay. It's got everything you need to go from not having had it to actually growing and getting appointments and calls, which is what you need to generate cash to free you up to be able to breathe again. Is I know the tightness on the chest that feels, and that this can actually solve that if you are willing to follow along, because
Yeah.
the depth is there. They haven't built something just to be like a cash grab. This is, they want to be the best in the industry, and that's what the program is set out to do. And the detail behind it is what allows you to be successful.
Yeah, well said, Zander. Perfectly put. Really appreciate the kind words there. And yeah, just to echo what Zander says, we have like principles for the company, and the first one, number one, is being product centric. And Zander, you'd know this because you're in the program. Like Zander said, if we wanted to just do a cash grab, we would just do one product and never update it. But we literally have a head of product, and every single day he's either refining existing strategies or adding new ones, just so it's in alignment with the market. So yeah, really appreciate those words, Zander. Where can people find you if they want to keep up with you?
They can go to businesscoachacademy.com, and then all our content is there. They can find me on YouTube or Instagram under Zander at Woodford Smith. And then, yeah, those are the best places to find me.
Amazing. So I'm going to put the links to all that stuff in the description below, guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the client interview. Like I said, I'm going to label this as part one. So keep an eye out for part two. I'm going to try and chase this man down in the coming months in case he's not too busy for me, hopefully. But yeah, I'm going to do my famous outro now, Xander. So you're going to witness it. There's something that I always say at the end of all my client interviews. For people that watch my client interviews, they're probably clicking off as we speak because they've heard it so many times. But if you are someone watching this right now, and you've gone on Instagram and you've seen the Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and the watches and the lifestyle being sold to you as something that can be achieved over time, and you think any online program can get you that success, and you think this is one of those programs. Unfortunately, it is not, okay, and I would not recommend you book a call, because this isn't a magic pill that'll get you rich quick. If you do find that magic pill, as I always say, send it my way. I'll happily purchase it myself as well. However, if you want to follow a proven framework with the proven, support in place and everything you need in order to succeed, and you're willing to put in the time and effort, just like Xander has here, who's been with us for around 18 months now, then please do feel free to book a call with us, because we are more than likely able to help. However, if you just want a dream that's instantaneous success with no work required, I'm not going to be the one to sell you that dream. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys need further reaffirmation, obviously you got this interview, but I think this is the 91st interview. I'm keeping count, so you've got 90 others to check out on the website, and all the other results we have. So please do your due diligence and have a watch at every other client's stories we have, and then you can book a call. And if you can enter it like Xander, saying you're not going to buy, you're not going to buy, you're not going to buy, and boom, you're a client interview with me in the coming months. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you found this one valuable. I'll catch you in the next one.